Okay, hi, my name is Alex. So today I'll be explaining about the midterm assignment. So this is just a class for task, also known as a task model. So over here is the properties, and then this is a constructor. And then over here I use a factory constructor here to create the task object from JSON. And then over here is just to convert the task object into JSON. Okay, so I use two screens in this assignment. The first one is to show the list of tasks. So initially it will of course require the user object over here, and then I set the boolean is loading is to true, and then for the init state it will call this method fetch task. So this is the task, and then it's just a post HTTP post request to post the worker ID using the user ID. So if the status code is 200, it will show success. Then I'll just store the JSON data into this task list over here, and then I set state for the to convert the JSON data into task object, and then the is loading value will become false. And then this is the build method over here, an app bar over here, title assign task, and then the body over here is loading initially will become true. So if it's true, it will show the loading button, and then if the list is empty, it will show no task is assigned. And over here, item count, I use a list custom list builder over here to build everything. So over here, the item count is just to tell the builder how many times you need to build the line of the list based on the task list length. And then over here, the item builder is just to build the list of tasks. And then I store the and I get the task at the current value, current index of the task list. So here I use a list tile to display everything. So it includes the text, the title, and then the subtitle over here, some values like task ID, due date, status, and then there's the description. And so over here I use the is tree line is true, so to make sure the vertical space is enough. And then once it's on tab, it will route to the submit completion screen, which is the next screen over here. But before that, I'll just explain the PHP script for the getWorks table. You first check the worker ID if it exists. If it doesn't exist, then it will just say that the worker ID is missing. And then after that, it will get the integer value for worker ID, and then it will execute this SQL statement to to select the ID title description from the table works where it is assigned to worker ID. So the worker ID should match with the user ID. And then over here it checks the row in the table. So if it's more than one, then you will just store it into this empty task array, and then use the associative array to add each row into this task. And then if it is successful, it will show success message and then the task, the body. So this is the second screen, submission completion screen. So it requires user and then task. So it requires two model over here. And then over here I use a global key form state to basically to validate the form input and to check the state. And then use text editing controller and then set boolean if submitting is to false. And this is the method. So this is just to validate the form, and then after that you will set the if submitting is true. And over here is the HTTP post request. So it basically posts the worker ID, work ID, and submission text from the task ID and then the user ID. And then you set the if submitting is to false. And then finally it decodes the response body. If it's successful, it will show this submission successful message, and then it will route back to the main screen. Else, it will just show that the submission is failed. And then over here is just to clear the memory after it's done submitting. So over here, this is the build method, the UI. So I have an app bar, submit completion, and everything I wrap into a padding. And then inside of that, I have a form. And I use a form key over here to connect the form to the global key to validate the input. And then over here, there's the first text form field to show the task title, and then read only is true. And then at the second text form field here is to allow the user to submit their completion details. And then is submitting, if it is true, it will show the progress circuit, the loading screen, loading button, and then if not, it will just display this elevated button. So the PHP script for the submit work is this over here. So it checks either column is empty. If one of them is empty, you just show missing parameters. If not, then you will get the integer value, and then it will also get the string value for the submission text. Then the real escape string here is just to prevent the SQL injection, and then it will insert the information into the table submissions using this value. And then if it is successful, you just show submission saved, and then else it will just show error saving submission. So I'll just quickly run the program, and before that you can see, okay, so this is the table for the table works. So this is data 10 title over here, and then table submissions. I already entered some data before this. I'm using the fourth work ID. So okay, back to the, so it's still loading. Okay, so I'll just get the information for the user. So I'm using this. So initially it display this. So if you press this one, view my jobs, it doesn't display anything because again no task is assigned because you're not logged in yet. So you just press login and then enter the email, password. So okay, login. Okay, so display this, and then you can go ahead and press this view my jobs. So you can see, okay, 2 jobs related to user ID number 4. So task ID 4 and task ID 9. And then so you can go ahead and click this. Okay, what did you complete? I completed test circuit board. Okay, so it shows the submission successful scaffold message, and then I press again. This one I enter the second job, completed completed maintaining equipment. Okay, so again submitting, it will just show this message, and if I refresh the table submissions, so you can see 2 latest input over here, complete test circuit board and then completed maintaining equipment. So it shows the submitted time and then text, work ID of the job, and then yeah. So yeah, that's basically it, and thank you.